And it does.
Renekton, we always talk about the Renekton lanes early. That means your top lane's going to be strong. And Lee Sin coming from the jungle, he can beat so many junglers 1v1 early. Pretty much everybody.
And it does become an interesting pick because he was so heavy on Vi and Elise. With Elise being banned out, he's now chosen twice to not go with Vi. So the Lee Sin's working for him so far. Lucian actually being picked up here for Yellowpete, and that will be his second time playing.
Yeah, Lucian and Caitlyn. So, or not Caitlyn, excuse me, Kale. Lucian and Caitlyn would be a poor decision. But maybe. Lucian and Kale would be a good combo because that Kale has become sort of a terror in the late game. Yeah. We've seen so many games go long enough for him to get the full Nashor's Tooth plus Lichbane plus Void Staff combo where he obliterates any target regardless of magic resistance.
Yeah, and this actually is going to be Pobelter's 7th different champion played in the LCS, a new one every game, so he's keeping it mixed up here. And we'll see if that is going to be the help that Lucian needs with the intervention. On the other side, we do have Jinx, and the Leona will be grabbed for elimination.
So they're going to match this this early game duo here. He's taken the challenge, taking Leona into Thresh. Now, the only question will be if they call for a lane swap. We've seen a lot of Jinx lanes do lane swaps, even into the tower changes, because of the attack speed and because of the power that she has. Yep. Of taking down that turret early.
We saw the effect it had with Nunu. That was insane.
The question really becomes, what do you do after this lane swap? Because freezing, I feel like freezing is a more effective strategy now because your top turret's going to last longer by default. You have more time to clear the rest of the board and prepare yourselves for the top turret going down, that when you freeze it, you don't have to worry about the assassins coming in. You don't have to worry about the other objectives on the map.
See the Vi possibly being locked in here. Snoopeh will take that under his wing, and Yellowpete is going to go for the Ezreal. This will be, or no, wait a minute. See, it could have been a Caitlyn.
Yeah, I knew the double AD was coming in.
So this is going to be very interesting to come into these lanes. Are we going to see a mid lane Lucian here?
All right, so both of these AD carries we've seen built with Blade of the Ruined Kings and with Trinity Forces. So even though they're both AD carries, they're both very mobile AD carries that can fend for themselves in team fights. So these two don't really fall into the trap that a lot of dual AD teams run into. But Renekton can stack armor very early. So I'm interested to see how Cloud9 deal with this.
Right. Well, we just got word that there was a keyboard error that locked that in. So we're not going to see any Lucian Thresh mid or any cool lockup or any cool combination there. So we'll get them back in. So you got excited that time.
Yeah, a little bit. They got me.
They got me. So we'll get them locked back in. But you did see the main composition somewhat.
So was that the actual team that they're running with? That
I'm going to go ahead and say the last pick was incorrect.
Okay. Never mind then. We won't analyze that because that'll be futile. LemonNation, though, this might be a preamble for something that's on the next page of his notebook here. You know, he's got several chapters in there planned out further down the road.
He's going to say, I'm going to choose my own adventure, and they picked Ezreal.
I'm scared for when we get to the wedding chapter, the red wedding, because
what's going to happen?
They're just going to pull out all Vladimir and all.
So as we get back into the champion select of this game, we saw that Balls was able to get Renekton. He already has a victory on that champion. Like you said, super safe lane there. And InnoX is going to have his work cut out for him because Balls is not one to lose his lane.
I'm very interested to see what the last pick actually is because a lot of people have been taking a couple different strategies into Renekton. Very popular now are Shen and Trundle. Those are pretty much the two that I really like going into Renekton. I mean, Mundo's always an option, but you do give up the early game and you just try not to lose too hard.
Right.
I'm much bigger fan of the Shen and of the Trundle because they have such big impacts later. Shen, he can actually stay fairly close in CS with Renekton.
Right.
Because, you know, he's got the Q
just
and he's
Q
got his
day,
passive.
Vorpal Blades.
And he has pretty good sustain, whereas Trundle can actually fight him a lot earlier than most other champions can. And we've seen a lot of people have success on both of those going into Renekton lanes.
And we're just waiting to get Krepo's keyboard. It defaulted to a different language, which resulted in the erroneous pick that happened just now in Champion Select. So it's not an Ezreal that we're looking for, and it looks like he is complete set. Nothing to worry about on that.
Nice hairdo he's sporting now, too.
Yeah. He's got the bun in the back a little bit.
That's a Belgian style for you to go along with this Belgian keyboard that's causing all these problems. No, just kidding.
So we will see a last pick coming over. Word is that was actually going to be a Mundo pick for InnoX in the top lane. So
we go with the boring one.
M is E in a different language.
Mundo, as we said before, he's probably going to take teleport, probably going to lose out early, then become a beast late game, as we've seen. This is a story that we've heard before.
InnoX has taken it to the Rift twice. He has a win-loss on it, so it looks like they're trying to make this one a win, but it's going to be hard. Cloud9 is set up for these games. We heard LemonNation talking about it earlier. They actually expected to go into this game first and still did pretty well in their initial game, so they are a team that can adapt quickly.
Yeah. My question always in the Renekton Mundo matchup is how close can Mundo stay in CS? Because we've seen a couple times where he just comes out even, and in that case, it's actually a big win. Nobody dies, but he had a pretty big advantage.
Yeah, Mundo hops into the fights, and you're like, well, this isn't what it looked like in lane. He's a little bit stronger. So that is locked in for them with the Mundo pick. LemonNation has Vi, but he is now to select whatever mid laner they're going to get in here for High. So it'll be quite interesting. High, like we said, has been playing different champions throughout pretty much all of his games and into the last game.
And with EG picking up the Vi combo to go with Kayle, he's going to have to be scared in that mid lane. If High gives up early kills to Kayle, we talked about how crazily she scales in the late game. You don't want that to come any earlier than it's already going to come. So he's going to play something more defensive that he can farm further back with, that he doesn't have to overextend with. One of your favorites.
One of my favorites. Absolutely love the Orianna pick, and it's going to be synergized with the dive comp that they have out of 3 members on their team.
So yeah, exactly. Meteos and Balls both can get in there pretty well. LemonNation, if he lands the same ultis and Zenith Blades that he's been landing, he can easily get a good combo there for High.
I like it. The Kayle pick was very nice on the side for Pobelter to really stop a dive, maybe on Lucian, or like you said, give Vi that ultimate into the fight. And we also see that it can all, like we said, come back for Cloud9. They have the dive to get in there. Both teams, I expect to be in each other's face a lot this game.
I also like the switch of strategy from Cloud9 since the Kayle is already picked for EG. They go more AoE. So instead of focused on one person down, spread the damage out. Kayle can only ult one person. Yeah,
you have constant DPS. Intervention only lasts so long while the teams load onto the Rift. Let's check out who you think will come out on top. According to LOLesports.com, 76% of you believe Cloud9 will walk away with the win. And that's actually, I'd say, a pretty good number. They had 90% earlier.
What did Coast have against them?
Yeah, exactly.
Like single digits there. So EG got a bit more fans, I guess.
Definitely getting that click into the plus up, thumbs up vote. We'll see what they can do as they get into the game. As we said, if you kind of walked away during Champion Select, it wasn't an Ezreal pick. It comes in as a Mundo for InnoX, and we did just kind of go back into Champion Select, and an Orianna for High and Mid to round out these compositions. Cloud9 is a team that doesn't so much take the early game in their favor, but they have been this week. They've been warding a lot more and controlling it.
Yeah, and especially warding around the dragons and focusing on the dragon control, which is going back to their roots. So with this team, I don't expect much different. They've got Renekton and they got Lee Sin. So
the composition just leads to that.
Should have some similar focus.
Just kind of hanging out. Early game, Cloud9 versus EG on your screens. And we are on to the Rift. Game 28 here in the NA LCS Spring Split. And we are underway.
All right. And we have all Doran starts. Nothing spectacular here. Everybody starting out the normal route.
Rings in the middle for High and Pobelter. Ignite to ignite. No barriers to be used in that lane. So those guys are going to be going for maybe some kills at each other. We've seen more roaming today than we have actually mid laners fighting, which is also unusual from the past weeks.
Yeah, most of our early action is going to come from Meteos and Snoopeh. Where are the junglers able to get themselves after they get their double buffs?
Just got it. Wings are getting tired, maybe. Ooh, the BM. All right, let's see what they have for each other. Snoopeh, Meteos. Just positioning right above. So looking at who could go aggressive, we actually had Meteos playing fairly safe, even the last time he was up against the Kazakhs.
So Lee Sin versus Vi, if they meet each other in the jungle, is usually in Lee Sin's favor. Vi has to land her Vault Breaker, or else she's going to lose that duel. And Lee Sin really has an advantage because it's a lot easier for him to move around. And it's very, very narrow margin that Vi can actually win that by. So I would definitely give the early advantage to Lee Sin if he does find Snoopeh in the jungle.
See what he has. Actually, Wukong earlier that he was matched up against. So we'll see what he does against that for Snoopeh. And we are going to have a bit of aggression here. Yellowpete, Krepo trying to waltz on in, but they are going to be walking over Ward, so you can already see High moving into this as well.
Right, so they stutter step on that blue just to make sure that there's not going to be a... Well, they can't make sure there's not going to be a steal because Sneaky shot one too many bullets out of that minigun.
Sometimes you forget your attack speed goes up a little bit, but he's going to be spitting out those zaps pretty good in lane at least. We'll see if they utilize this, and they have to. Maybe they can actually get Snoopeh or Sneaky killed and then transfer back.
Also, the experience that you get from killing blue buff is going to be a pretty big...
Whoa. So with this, I feel like Hyde takes it into his own hands to go aggressive in mid and already start to create game pressure.
I feel like this is what Bjergsen was talking about when he was talking about little things that he's learning from High and how High plays early levels a little bit different than what he was used to before coming over here.
Okay.
That level 1 Orianna aggression, burning down that Ignite as well, enables him to be the one shoving this wave and enables him to be the one in experience advantage. As you can see, he got level 2 there first, took another advantage to land that harass.
He's actually going quick QW. That's going to burn his mana out quite hard in lane, but he's getting the auto attacks in. We'll see if he can keep this up. We see Snoopeh just underneath Pobelter right now at rates, and he's going to have to give pressure here.
So now that, you know, since Meteos lost his blue buff there to his AD carry, he is going to be a little bit further behind, and he's just trying to farm it up and make up for it with the smaller camps.
Moving in mid slowly. Meteos still feels like he can have an impact. He did this last time. He warded, and then he stole the wolves.
This is the exact same path that he ran last time. So I would not expect him to run that path on another day of LCS. Because if you get yourself into a pattern like that, it's the worst thing for a jungler. Snoopeh has just found out that he's in the area still because he saw the wolves coming.
And they're getting pings down. Ooh, actually, Meteos sitting on
here's
a ward
the
right now. It's going to be a full damage. Level 3-3 here. Does he have a ward to get over the wall? The trinket's down, so the flash is forced.
So it's a problem when you get predictable like that. If EG was watching the first game today and Snoopeh calls out, hey, my wolves are gone, Meteos probably still here.
High getting attacked a little bit. That E of Pobelter still proccing quite hard. It looks like they're going to trade even in the end.
High just chugging another potion there, though. Since he was the one to go aggressive early, he already made Pobelter use both of his health potions.
Now, before we get too far away from the blue going to Sneaky, what kind of information does that or allow Snoopeh to do, seeing that the jungler doesn't have his buff and it's in a lane?
Well, he didn't really make anything happen. Lee Sin is like someone who does not need blue buff that much. It's not like, oh my god, I'm a moo-moo and my blue buff was stolen. I'm going to get invaded now. It's Lee Sin's going to be fine on his own. So you can see how Snoopeh just...
like the best of the worst.
Exactly. He went for the just to cover his own jungle.
Just on the outside of the Vault Breaker. Would have done some nice damage, but Balls kind of reads that one and puts himself in a safe position with the hard hat on. That means that Meteos now has vision onto Snoopeh, and it looks like he will put himself in the river now. Top or bottom, he has his choice.
The bush ward here from Krepo is helping them, but they're still getting zoned out down there. Meteos with a nice little gank around mid.
Quickly getting in to get that cripple down. It's not going to be enough damage. Good shield onto Meteos and the synergy in mid.
I like that gank mid. Oh, here we go down bottom though.
LemonNation, very nice chompers onto Krepo.
So after the gank mid, Meteos, true to form, shoves the lane here. He taxes a little bit, and they get it into the turret. The purpose of that is not only to try and make your enemies lose CS, but also to draw out the enemy jungler. Since Meteos showed first, if Snoopeh did not come to lane, then they would have to worry about counter.
Great grab, taking advantage of LemonNation trying to be off warding, but now they engage. Support to AD and the other way around. Yellowpete taking a lot of damage. The last missile hits at 110 HP. They stay alive.
Everybody's still with their summoners, though, here. This could very well turn bloody, because after a fight like that, both teams should be calling for their junglers.
You can see just how much force Cloud9 puts into how sure they are. Kale saw Meteos coming down.
What a call from him to find Snoopeh.
Very nice job. Meteos actually just seeing Snoopeh. Gonna get the kill on this one. Will he have it? Does not. He connected the Q too early.
If Meteos hadn't had to burn his flash in his escape up top, he could have flashed in front of the vault breaker there.
Yeah.
And at least made Snoopeh blow his flash. But because it wasn't up, he's able to escape. And as I said, both junglers down, or both teams should be calling their junglers down bottom like their last fight. Meteos counted on that. He did a very good job predicting the move from Snoopeh, and the wards that they are placing here, very deep in the jungle, are allowing Meteos to make these moves.
Yep.
That Wraith ward does a lot of work. Anytime Snoopeh goes to the bottom half jungle, Meteos can then play around his movements.
And it really is synergizing perfectly. I made the comment that Sneaky and LemonNation didn't used to be that aggressive AD and support. They had that lane pushed up all the way, and they've been doing a great job at keeping Yellowpete and Krepo behind. And a little bit in CS, but also in levels in the lane. You see the BF sword for Sneaky now, and we'll see how they keep in that lane. Pobelter back with the blue buff. We'll see what these guys have for each other.
Yeah, so the bottom lane there, Yellowpete and Krepo, their CS has just shifted a little bit.
Yeah.
Krepo took a little bit more money because Yellowpete has recalled here. Can he get the cannon minion? That's the one that's important. There we go. Cash money for Krepo here. He's going to be a rich man.
Looks like that's the only thing he's getting. The jungle presence hasn't been too much down in the bottom lane. Snoopeh's been focusing that top, keeping Pobelter safe from a lot of Meteos.
And on the pink ward there. There you go.
Find a pink ward, because Meteos is pretty much living in the jungle of EG right now.
I usually really like defensive pink wards because those are the ones that last a lot longer.
Right.
But Meteos doing so much roaming on this bottom side, able to find that one out way before EG wanted him to.
Red buffs on both sides. The ganks become a little better for both the junglers, but who's going to be able to pull them off? We're still without a first blood here, coming up on 9 minutes in the game, and the CS really the only thing that's putting us back and forth in this gold lead.
Well, a lot of the ward coverage in the jungle for Cloud9 is all focused on the red side. But at this moment, Meteos is making his move up top. So I think he might just be going for some counter jungling here because InnoX still has his ulti available. It would be a rough dive to pull off there.
Oh, there's the command shockwave back and forth. The ignite not there with enough damage in the auto attacks. It's going to be a walkout by Pobelter, but it's still danger in the top lane.
All right, so Pobelter's playing with fire here. He does have his ulti and both his summoners, but the rocket's on the way.
Oh, so close. So close. I think they called that one from the bottom lane. Snoopeh just on the outside.
He's level 6. Oh, he didn't chase high into the bushes.
Not looking good for InnoX here. They're going to get down right on him, and it looks like they get the first blood. That goes to Meteos, but the bottom lane is having its own fight as well. Yellowpete tries to stand toe-to-toe with Sneaky as the attack speed goes up. LemonNation was in a bad spot to take an initial burst of damage, and now Yellowpete flashed in the bush, denying vision, but it's not enough. Oh, the assault battery. Little too late.
Yeah, he wanted to save his AD carry's life with that, but they're going to have dragon control because both members taken down and because Meteos showed up top. This is something that happens all the time. When you gank top as a jungler around 10 minutes or past, then a lot of the time you can easily answer with a dragon. There was the, oh wow, he flashed into that Q?
Yeah.
Was that a ridiculous, wow, I don't even know if that was on purpose from Meteos, but that was godlike, I guess. He predicted that sideways flash? No, no way.
That ward, Pobelter saving his life. He almost got dove right into the mid turret, and that would be Cloud9 working as they usually do. Take one thing, get to a next one, and take it.
Teleport coming in, though. EG looked like they want to defend this one.
InnoX, don't think he can put too much of a fight up here.
5 people!
They are really wanting this mid turret. It opens up just too much of the map, Kobe. InnoX just got back. The intervention could save him. The attacks, oh! The lantern is stopped by the command shockwave. High's getting hit up, and this this one as well. He takes the turret shot. Everybody's in and out of the fight. Krepo is trying to get to the back line as well. Pobelter's in a sore spot to end this one.
So it ends up with the mid laners training lives here, but I have to say that was a sloppy retreat from EG. InnoX staying at the turret as it's about to go down when they obviously are outnumbered was an initial mistake. Then it just happened to turn towards their favor, then flip-flop back there because a lot of very aggressive plays from both teams.
And Meteos has been out of base for days. He still has a Doran's
so there's
only.
InnoX. He stays way too much at this turret, but because they have Kale, then he's going to survive. This is the pull back from the Shockwave, countering the Lantern, and then high too deep. Pobelter flashes in to get a kill, but dies for it. That's the wild card nature of Pobelter that we always talk about. He wants to get those kills, and he doesn't care if he has to flash into 4 people to do it.
And right before that replay, I have to point out that Meteos just went back for his first buy. He only had the Dorans and the Machete. He was staying in the jungle to keep his lanes going over and over.
Lee Sin can sustain for a long, long time early game without having to go back and buy. So he's trying to make the most of his time.
Well, they made the most of quite a bit. 3 outer turrets have been taken down. The middle one with a victorious fight just now that we saw. 3-3 in kills here. 12 minutes into the game, and there
a lot of attention up top here. Yeah, a lot of attention up top for EG. They've got 3 members going at this Renekton with no defense items. So Balls does a good job of backing off. The exact mirrored situation down bottom, though. C9 might be too late.
Getting himself a little close. Orianna supposed to use the ball on that one, not melee attacks. Coming in on this. Yellowpete looks like he's going to be able to get a lockdown. And, gets out. No, the Mega Inferno hits very nicely. It looks like they get the kill off of that.
Nice pass there from Meteos, kicking him right over to Sneaky to grab another kill onto the AD carry. Jinx is able to clean that one up. A bit sloppy early, though. High losing his life before the rest of the team got there. Definitely costing them a little bit of extra gold, but they answer in the turret rush, and both of them are going towards secondary turrets. High gets hooked, and that's pretty much all she wrote there. Good job by Krepo. I was pretty much 100% Krepo on that play, and Yellowpete did a good job following up the damage, but as we know, they're doomed here. The pass and the dunk.
That rocket damage, a 3-man Shockwaves as we get back to live. InnoX and everybody taking good damage from that, and it deters them from taking the turret. Bloodthirster being stacked up on Yellowpete now, and it's 84-95 in that lane, so I have to consider that Sneaky just hasn't backed yet.
Yeah, looks like they will recall now. He's got almost 2,000 there to spend. Let's see what build he goes. Since he's already got the BF sword, probably just get Bloodthirster, yeah. Pretty classic Jinx there. Almost everybody gets that. It just adds to her turret killing power and also sustain in the team fights.
Easy choices there. Quickly going for a little build-up damage. We got the Ninja Tabis coming out fast onto LemonNation, but even faster, the Aegis build for Krepo.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, we don't see a lot of Aegis Rush, but it will help out with the AoE magic damage that Cloud9 went for with High switching over to Orianna mid. And a little bit more team play there for Krepo. But he does give up the ward coverage that an early Sightstone would. And we'll have to see if that comes into play during the next Dragon that's going to pop up here, because Cloud9, as we said, have been focusing on those. And you can see it in the money that they're willing to spend on all these wards and even pink wards around Dragon.
EG holding off right now as Yellowpete grabs up the red. Like you said, a little bit of control going around Dragon, setting those chess pieces in place. It's now a minute ahead of time, but they will be prepared for it with that pink ward down. And still only focusing the bottom half of the jungle with wards, not so much the top. That's just split push zone.
LemonNation, just giving a little love tap to Snoopeh.
Everything's kind of stalling
out.
out.
Did they mistime Dragon? I feel like they're waiting around it for a long time here. Maybe they're just trying to make him play in the bottom side.
Could be true. Try to draw them into where they have the advantage. I mean, now 3 pink wards going down on that side. They know they're going to be there for a while to guard that.
Right. What they're doing is seeding this top side of the map. It's allowing the Mundo, who has teleports, to push it in.
There's a face-to-face engage here. It looks like Snoopy's the only one in the party. Who else got an invitation? Because nobody's there from EG. Whoa, he went a little too far right off the screen. Meteos safeguards back to a ward after getting too much.
Definitely sloppy here. That was obvious miscommunication from EG. The Lantern came out even really early, as Snoopeh aggressed even after the Lantern was thrown. So definitely only half the members wanted to fight there.
Well, that's an ultimate down from Vi. LemonNation taking a bit of two-man Shockwave. Hill going down so fast. Great job with the rocket from Sneaky, and they continue into the fight. Great positioning here from Cloud9. Running through the dissonance is going to give them a bit of speed up, but they take off, slow it down.
So that sort of mistimed fight, putting EG on the back foot, is just in time for a Dragon for Cloud9. They'll gladly take this one. And the giant wave that Mundo was building up top has actually not even gotten to the turret yet, so they could actually go back and save that gold before it all is lost to the top turret.
Well, they're going to need that gold as well, because without that Sightstone, everybody's forced here to keep buying consumable wards on the side of EG, and they're not getting too much jungle back for it.
Interesting. So EG, they go to finish off the turret, which is good. They got their global gold, but again, that big wave is lost, and now they've put themselves in sort of a compromising position.
Oh, he didn't want to find that. Nah, he's all right.
Never mind, it's Meteos who's in the compromising position.
Sometimes you don't have everything warded and you walk into danger. Meteos finds that out, and I think Cloud9 will adapt a little bit more with wards, because you see the bottom half and it's pretty lit up.
Wards are a limited resource,
like a light bright.
And they've spent pretty much everything they have around that dragon area. 3 pink wards in the river.
Those are still the same ones from what we just saw.
Regular ones in that red side jungle.
Oh, they heard you. It's Tuna. Sorry, Kobe.
That's not funny, because we don't want to give away tricks like that. Hey guys, there's pink wards all over the river.
5-3 in the favor of Cloud9 right now with turrets. The 4,000 gold lead. InnoX is trying to thwart by split pushing this, so Cloud9 can't use all that money that they have and just fight.
Now the answer for InnoX split push, interesting to see what they'll choose. At this moment, it's Sneaky. Like, there's not a lot of kill potential for Sneaky. I think they just want the money on him, so they're just trying to have him soak this up. But eventually, when Mundo does start to get big, they'll have to use somebody else. Oh, here's the hard initiate again from Snoopeh.
Again, so deep. Can anybody follow this? It's going to be the intervention going down. Oh, he gets out just past the solar flare. A beautiful command shield into the shockwave onto Meteos, and they start to retaliate.
So InnoX didn't have to burn his teleport here because they did not want to follow that one up. This is, again, Snoopeh went so deep there, and he got kicked back, by the way, by Meteos. He was kicked out of Kale ultimate range. So Pobelter had to flash forward in order to get that intervention down, and then it cost him his life. So Cloud9, again, doing a good job of capitalizing on that sort of sloppy initiation from EG, and they're trying to get this Baron down.
Teleport is in. It looks like Cloud9 wants to turn off of this one, and it is going to be balls right in the front. The box goes down, but Krepo doesn't look like he's going to live for long here. They're going to give it to LemonNation. Good guy, Lemon, with the auto attack kill. InnoX and Yellowpete looking to run, and there is not much mana to be had by Yellowpete.
Cloud9 did take a lot of damage from that Baron, though, so they have to return and heal as soon as possible because they no longer have control of the map, and EG are looking to answer objective.
This is going to be much needed gold for EG. They are behind in structures, global gold, and kills right now at 20 minutes into the game. So opening up that mid turret really helps.
Good rotation. As soon as you take mid turret, grabbing up the blue buff, that's a really big cooldown actually. Kale enjoys those just as much as High would. You saw High ran out of mana at that Baron pit and was one of the reasons why they really had to pull out after EG showed up.
Cloud9 is adapting with these wards. You see if it's kind of transferred a little bit towards the top side of mid lane now. So they're going to start having control over the more important Baron pit.
Looks like it's a kind of a slow swap out here for sweepers. Only one for Cloud9 there, Lemon doing his part. They're more concerned with buying pink wards than using a whole bunch of sweepers to clear out the wards. As I say it, he grabs 2 right there. Good shot, Lemon.
2 pink wards also being bought up here. Krepo has one to himself, and Snoopeh coming out of the base got himself one. So they are looking to gain back whatever they can, but those will only be placed when they have control over those spots, and that's scarce right now.
They just barely saved that one right there. He's going to go down in a single another hit. So again, this InnoX split push. I'm wondering what Cloud9 are going to do about that situation, because they don't really have a super strong duelist besides Renekton, and Renekton's really, you know, with that Hydra, just looking for like pushing and wave clear. So they saw him walk in here, and Cloud9 know that this ward is here.
Oh, man.
So this is a good bait, but they're taking Baron damage here. All the debuff as well.
They all thought they had an extra 1,000 range to engage. Get a little scared there, but they go back and forth. Now, knowing where the position is of both teams, they kind of walk it down parallel. Jungle side and mid side goes in onto Meteos. It looks like LemonNation tries to get to the back line, locking down Yellowpete perfectly. And it looks like Krepo is going to be able to stay in the middle. By going down first, Snoopeh won't be able to put out any more lockdown or peel. Pobelter following after. Kale not two-shotting people in these fights. Back and forth for Meteos. A very nice dissonance could slow and continue the fight, but it does not.
Pobelter did at least get to use his intervention on himself this time, but Cloud9 did a great job of returning their focus to him after it wore off. Sneaky was confident that he could get the reset and gain his distance away from Mundo after he kills Pobelter, so he runs right into his face there. Snoopeh wanted to take this engage, and it was a good chunk out of Meteos. But you can see Balls doing so much work on that back line. Yeah. Balls basically had both Pobelter and Yellowpete held up. And here, Sneaky goes into the face of 3 because he had that confidence he could get excited.
These lanes have gone pretty even. We talk about Balls, we talk about InnoX and what they're doing in the fights. It's only 187 to 168 there, but Balls and the team have just been getting things going. 2-0-4 in that top lane, and that's why he's usually on top for Cloud9.
As always, you know, that's why a lot of people keep saying Balls is one of the most underrated players.
Absolutely.
In the North American LCS. But I think mostly this story of this game has been the miscommunications of EG. It doesn't seem like they are on the same page today. The initiations have been pretty sporadic. And you have to also give credit to Cloud9, though. You know, Meteos was doing a good job of kicking Snoopeh even further away from the team than he already was.
Good flashes on the assault and batteries, trying to get them deeper into the fight. It's kind of the problem you had when you played Maokai back in the day, and someone would flash and you're another 700-some distance farther than you wanted to be. That's what Snoopeh is finding right now, and hopefully the team can get with him, and they can start to get these fights in their favor. They're only down 5,000 gold. That is not a huge amount for 23 minutes into the game, but the map control that Cloud9 has is very big.
They're circling around Mundo. That's a hard guy to lock down here. All right, with the flash, he should be okay.
Get the shield bash. 1, 2, 3. They're going to combo just about everything that Zap misses. Do they have enough crowd control? The ignites down. The rocket goes flying by for good measure, but it looks like they could trade second-tier turrets.
There's no minion wave here, though, so they have to take a lot of damage on that second-tier turret.
Yeah.
And both teams actually recalling. Now Cloud9 can make the call to push down this inhibitor turret.
This is what they've been waiting for all game. A team of 4 with Leona going back. LemonNation's going to be able to stop what he can, but it's already EG coming back to defend this inhibitor. Pobelter's up with the home guards on, and they aren't going to get an engage.
Snoopeh has his assault and battery, but since InnoX went down in that 5-man engage, which I thought he was going to get out of, they can't capitalize on this, and a hard engage would definitely be against their best interest this time around.
So looking at Baron now, 2 pink wards down for Cloud9. They have easily the better vision in this situation. Only 1 ward there. The EG is hatching of their own is what they have.
This is all stemming from that catch on InnoX too. You know, maybe if he had flashed earlier before Lemon could get in range to stun him.
And wait till they see InnoX in the bottom lane. Teleport is up, but they might be able to take a fight fast enough.
All right. EG were able to get him off Baron, though. That's really all that they wanted in those few seconds.
See what they can do. Yellowpete doesn't even have the Triforce finish. They are missing a lot of damage in what should be an explosive team fight with a Lichbane and a Trinity Force unfinished.
Ooh, yeah. A lot of extra on hit that would be. And that's a power boost that EG really need, but the sources of income are not really there for them.
Right.
The next Dragon probably going to go to Cloud9, so I think they need more ward coverage so they can try and pick somebody off here.
Yeah.
And if they just play to this Mundo split push, well, we already saw it go sour because he got cut off and killed by 5 people. And again, ward coverage right there would help the situation.
And as they get more wards placed on the map, that just means a jungle gym for Meteos, who actually have to call back to because his 2nd game in a row on Lee Sin, and he's playing it amazingly.
He has done a phenomenal job of setting up kills, but the rest of the team here, Cloud9 all playing really well. We also have to shout out, you know, how high has gotten the death cap for the Orianna, so it's going to have that extra impact. They do have the large source of magic damage that they need. In the area of effect, that's really going to decimate this EG team. They can't just rely on intervention blocking something.
Sneaky sitting on 1,900 gold high. I like that going with the damage instead of the safety of the Zanyas. They're looking to just take out EG before Pobelter can get the intervention onto anybody. We'll see what they decide to build next. Looks like everybody's in a stalemate in their current builds, except for that 2K gold we just said on Sneaky, and he's doing a farm in top lane right now.
So what Cloud9 are doing is trying to keep EG just walking around this side of the map here. They want to keep them out in the open because this Cloud9 team really thrives on those team fights where they can make use of all this area of effect damage. And if they just keep on threatening Baron over and over, eventually they can catch EG in a poor position. Whereas they don't really want to try and play the EG game here and go for that split push answer.
And this becomes even more of a dangerous fight for EG because if they lose this, they lose that inhibitor.
Now here's an interesting call. Give up that outer turret and go for Baron, or recall and try and defend. Since they're already taking so much damage on that turret, they have the confidence to burn down this Baron fast enough that they can recall by the time EG get to the inhibitor turret. Wow, they're just stopping the mid lane, actually. Very indecisive move here. EG need to make a move.
Oh, they want to come back for Baron, Kobe.
Got to teleport now.
The smite's going to be in there for both junglers. They're not going to go for Baron, but they do turn around. LemonNation in the front trying to take most of the culling damage. Snoopeh is very low, but he gets intervention. Pobelter kick back, but he flashes into the kill onto high. Krepo's in the back line doing a great job of zoning, but Cloud9 looks to be on the hunt here for more kills. Sadam is on for InnoX, trying to get his HP back. They might be able to re-engage, but Pobelter is very low.
Whoa, saving grace for EG right there. Pobelter was able to get out with his life in that one. Again, having to use his intervention on Snoopeh and being stuck in the middle there, just flashing out to the kill over by Krepo's box really saved him.
Great communication in that fight, going 1 for 1. We'll see what happens when they come back. High really wasn't able to get a superb ultimate off that time, and it was the first time we saw EG kind of evening out a fight, at least, if they weren't able to get ahead there.
I have to say, EG are actually probably happy about that one because they were really worried about the Baron, and just trading 1 for 1 turns out really well for them. Even though that was so scary.
No, yeah, they're adapting to Cloud9 being on Baron has actually been quite good. 39,000, actually 40,000. That takes up another 100 gold, so a 6,000 gold lead in favor of Cloud9.
Far away here.
Yeah, very LemonNation, not even close for this.
Leona's ultimate just did come off cooldown, though. If they can actually catch out Pobelter in a stun, that would be a huge start to a fight for Cloud9.
They got to be thinking, where's LemonNation? And he comes in from the side again. Snoopeh gets the intervention. It was very early, though, so that's going to be completely down. Pobelter is the focus. Snoopeh trying to get out of the fight. He goes down next by the hands of Sneaky. The calling from over the side. It's going to do good damage. The rocket just missing on the side of InnoX, and it looks like Cloud9 comes out of this one on top, but very hurt.
Immediate target switch as soon as Pobelter ults Snoopeh once again with the intervention. Balls goes to splash in and stun Kale.
Oh, that's the time they were hoping for a big amount of AoE. InnoX back to the top lane to clean this up and try and get pressure on the turret. You have a back from both High and LemonNation, so that'll be a clean save for him. And EG's just trying to put things in place right now for everything being behind.
Cloud9 this time playing the exact same strategy that they did around Baron Pit, but this was around Dragon, so it does less damage. There was a lot less pressure on them, and they were able to get the positioning right this time that the target switch over to Kale after she uses her ultimate was very easy to pull off. Good ulti there from High as well.
High himself looks to be going Glass Cannon. He's going to put in that Void Staff just after this Rabadon, so no Zanyas for him. They want to get bloodthirsty real fast. Another BF sword as well for Sneaky as he goes for more damage.
EG finally take out the treasure trove of pink wards.
The return on investment is real. 30 minutes into this one, they're trying to do what they can to get this game back into their favor, but Cloud9 not making it an easy task.
Now, the exposed inhibitor is going to go down way quicker here than the mid lane turret. So EG immediately making the call to back up and defend their base. Definitely the right call here, especially since they're fighting a Jinx. Now, the only question is, will EG actually pull out the hard engage again?
Right. Any extra gold they just had was actually put into home guards for the rest of the team. I think 3 more were bought, and they need to. This is getting pretty scary. And Cloud9, once they get this far ahead, don't let up at all.
Ooh, Leonim ulti actually missed, and Zenith Blade missed. That's huge.
There's the hook from Krepo. It could be the other way around on this. They use a lot just for Leona. That leaves balls to get the Pobelter, but he pulls off. The communication is to turn around back to the other end of the fight. InnoX falls. They're going to get balls in the end there. It's a shutdown onto him going to Pobelter, and it is a double kill coming in big for Sneaky, trying to hit the last zap as Pobelter puts on his shoes, sidesteps that one, and it looks like they are going to be able to get the inhibitor.
Ooh, Krepo finds another with the hook.
Big burst there. That is the Triforce completed from Yellowpete, but the front end damage burst is not enough for the kill. Pobelter very low, can't get the heal steroid for speed, and the inhibitor falls. Krepo watches it happen.
Another miscommunication here from EG, I think. No damage ready to follow up that hook.
A very good game from Cloud9. EG holding strong in the beginning. Another kill to go on the scoreboard for them. It's going to be a 32-minute game for Cloud9, and they pick up the win versus EG.